Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, August 3rd. Looking at the impact map, a big transition, monsoonal moisture surge pushing across most of the eastern, I would say the eastern two-thirds or most of the Great Basin, even skirting some parts of western Nevada, although sparingly, as well as barely getting up into our mountains of Idaho today, but that'll change as you go into Friday and Saturday. Some of our large incidents will be getting significant wetting rains as we go through the end of the week into the weekend. But you can see the southern progression of this moisture. It's short-lived. It's not a well-connected monsoon. It's a piece of the monsoon that broke off. And as the deeper moisture moves further north, we expect drier air to start pushing in from the south and from the west as we go into the weekend. So enjoy the break. It'll be short-lived, but until then, a lot of lightning and just about all on the wet or very wet side, especially the further east and south you go. You can see some of these precipitation amounts in the green, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches. The dark blues are a ½ inch to an inch, and this is getting up into parts of eastern Idaho as well. Much of the higher terrain of eastern and central Nevada, missing out on the Sierra for now, though they are getting a little bump up in humidity along with cloud cover. Looks like new fire starts in the red, very light initial attack despite the thousands of lightning strikes, and that's what typically happens the second or third day of the monsoon. Our large incidents continue up here in the Idaho mountains. Precipitation for the past week, quite wet, as you can see across the eastern Great Basin with the green areas here. Again, ½ inch to an inch of rain. A lot of areas getting wetting rains here. Going all the way up. Even these darker blues are a ½ inch or more. In terms of percent or normal, that line is very well delineated here. You can see the eastern Nevada and going into Utah and southeast Idaho well above normal. And we do have our ERC Point Map experimental stage right now, but showing that trend with a downward trend in ERC percentiles, where you see the green but still hanging in across the Sierra front, far northwest Nevada, and temporarily for now up in Idaho. Although keep in mind, a lot of these were yesterday afternoon. As we go through the day, a lot of these numbers will be heading downwards as well. And that's because you can see that monsoonal moisture is basically from the Highway 50 corridor on northwards. You can see all that cloud cover, cooler, more moist conditions. This will be where the showers will be. You also see where it's clearing out in the south. So even though they had 3 or 4 days of significant rainfall, that'll be clearing out. They'll see sunshine and drying conditions as we go through the next couple of days. So for today, there's the moisture at this point. By this afternoon, it's mostly along and north of the I-80 corridor, but definitely starting to pound areas of Idaho, western Wyoming, far northern Utah and Nevada. You see the damage is done here. A lot of the 7-day PSAs have gone into the green or at least the yellow. You can see the relative humidity on the right-hand side extremely high, drying to the south, but and also not as wet in the east, but still into the mid to upper teens as you approach the Sierra front. Some breezy weather down here in the south. A lot of these purple shades are 30, 40 mile an hour brief 10-minute outflow boundary gusts from thunderstorms, so keep that in mind. A little breezy here right along the Snake, right along the Salmon River, ahead of the thunderstorms. So keep that in mind. Even though humidity will be rising, it could pose some brief control issues. You can see the leading edge of precipitation gets right up toward the Salmon River. The heaviest amounts, these purple shades, are ½ inch to an inch and a half stay in eastern Idaho, much of northern Utah, but moderate amounts here, another ½ inch or so across much of northern and eastern Nevada. Now for tomorrow, that moisture stays mostly up in Idaho and Wyoming. We see drier air continuing to push up from the south on our 7-day. A little bit of yellow poking up here, but still all areas temporarily not critical. But you see the dry humidities already in the south. Winds starting to get a little breezy, no big deal. No significant. Some of the most significant winds will still be in areas of higher humidity and thunderstorms, and some locally moderate to locally heavy rains continue across much of Idaho, western Wyoming. Spotty showers across parts of northern or northwestern Nevada with another disturbance. And then by Saturday, the back edge of that moisture just hanging in our far northern areas towards the Salmon River. drier air. I wouldn't call it hot, just more seasonable early August weather moving back in to western and southern portions of the Great Basin. You see a little bit more yellow and even some brown on the map. These areas here in western Nevada don't expect to see too much rainfall. Humidity's driest in the south, a little bit to the west, still above normal to the north. Winds a little breezy across the Snake River Plain, but they would have had several days of rain. And 3-day precipitation totals through here. The heaviest rain from here on in will be across eastern Idaho, Wyoming, some central Idaho mountains. This dark green is 1/4 to 1/2 inch. But keep in mind, this does not include what has already fallen. A lot of rain has fallen south of here so far. So go into the later portions. Sunday, moisture moves just north of our area, probably still lingering clouds and maybe some sprinkles in the far north. Again, seasonably dry, seasonable temperatures in the south. You can see a lot of our PSAs start creeping back in because this was not the 25-day monsoon. This was the 3 to 5 day monsoon. So not as much damage done. And you see more browns coming in as we go into Monday. Tuesday, drier air coming in. There'll be a disturbance coming to the Pacific Northwest, maybe some sprinkles or light showers in our far north. And then by Wednesday, that stays to our north. We get drier air. I would say near normal temperatures, maybe slightly cooler than normal, but definitely getting back to where conditions in some areas could still burn, especially some of the heavier fuels that won't be as affected with this rain. This is the 7-day total. Now, interesting, on the 8 to 14-day outlook, definitely a trend towards above normal temperatures in the Pacific Northwest and into western and central portions of the Great Basin, cooler than normal just to our east. So we have a couple of weather systems dropping down from Canada. But it's interesting, these algorithms signify wetter than normal in the north, but this drier than normal signal indicates that the monsoon will be shut off. So it's no moisture from the monsoon. This will be from the northern stream. But if you actually look at the model precipitation, where we have that above normal, little to no precipitation is forecast. It's hard to get the exact 8 to 14 day. We get a 5-day outlook of the 8 to 13 day, and that tells us that maybe not much precipitation, just maybe cooler temperatures and slightly higher humidity. That means our activity in the Idaho mountains will not just totally go away. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.